So I bought Bitcoin at $3.50, and I bought a shit ton of it up until $50. Then I bought a whole bunch more up to $100. So I own a good chunk of Bitcoin.
Welcome to another episode here on the Owl Podcast. I'm joined with my co-host, Ellie Santra, and we're going to go into detail today about Bitcoin. The man to my left knows a thing or two about that. He's an entrepreneur, started a quite large company around it, and also he is a poker player, so I'm sure I'm going to get him to tell me a couple tips about poker because I love Texas Hold'em myself, and also just health in general, things that I went through in my life. He's going to share, what he went through, and how we're going to make a bigger impact to this world. But to kick things off, Ellie, what is happening on your end?
Today, I've just been hanging out here at the Owl office on the app, meeting a lot of cool people. It's actually funny because I was on the chat forum earlier today, and Jennifer Geigel was on the chat forum and wrote, "Hey guys, I really need help with Bitcoin. I have a friend who's super interested." And I was like, wait, Jennifer, you have to tune in to our episode today because Doug Scribner is going to solve all of your Bitcoin problems. So,
some of them.
Yes, some of them. Maybe not all of them. Okay, I don't want to oversell here.
It requires a deep dive. It doesn't, and it does. It's like, hey, look, how much do you need to know about the technology? I would argue you don't know anything about text messaging, but you do it all the time.
Right.
Like, what's the name of the protocol that you for text messaging? You don't know. You don't care. It doesn't matter.
SMS, standard messaging service.
Okay, yeah.
Is it? I don't know if is that right? Standard messaging service?
That is.
Close.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm not.
And then when you signed up with your first email, or when you get a new email, you use POP3 or SMTP. You got to decide which.
AOL. Come on, everything was AOL back in the day.
And you've heard of the protocol WWW,
of
course.
HTTP.
World Wide Web.
Yeah. Hypertext transfer protocol.
Getting better. I'm not too bad here, right?
Yeah,
See, we're getting a lesson. So for someone who literally knows nothing about Bitcoin, right? I don't know. Where do you start? I feel like that's my first question for those of us out here that are like, we want to make money, but where do we start?
That's not where I start.
Okay.
I start with philosophy.
Okay.
That's what drove me into Bitcoin is we didn't care when it started that you'd become rich. That was
right.
No one knew.
So you were passionate about Bitcoin and then the money came from that essentially?
Yes. I was rewarded for my passions.
Yeah.
They always say, follow your passion.
Yeah.
This is the case when it happened.
Yeah.
So my passion is fair, borderless, not manipulatable by politicians, philosophically sound money, and that sounds so freaking boring. Can I swear in this podcast?
Absolutely.
All right. It sounds so freaking boring. I'll stay with that.
No, it actually doesn't. The way that the country's going right now, I think that sounds really appealing to a lot of people.
It's not.
You're raw.
It's not.
People. That's why everything with live podcasts is coming back because people don't want all that edited BS anymore.
Well, maybe, but I mean to describe computer science, computer protocols.
Okay, that part. Yeah, that part.
Exactly. You don't need to know about that. So, and I didn't know about that. I still don't know. I'm not a tech guy, really. I'm not a computer programmer.
Okay.
But I did understand the arguments of why we need sound money, why we need politically neutral money. It can be used in any country. No government can manipulate it. They can try. They have tried. They will try. But ultimately, the U.S. is one country, it's a powerful one, and China banned Bitcoin mining. Did that stop Bitcoin mining?
No.
No, and they had more Bitcoin miners were in China than any other country. The government banned it, and nothing happened to the Bitcoin network.
Okay, so I got to ask a question because the first thing that came to mind when she said Bitcoin was making money, right? And that might irk you. I don't know if it does or not. Because the philosophy is it's a digital currency, right? The blockchain, the technology behind it, and that could get it kind of like it's not gambling, it's not Texas Hold'em poker, right? So when she says, "Oh, Bitcoin, making money," what comes to mind?
To me,
yeah.
Well, like I said, I got into it for the philosophy, but you can make money on it. You can short it and long it, and you can day trade it. And now with the ETF that was approved last Thursday, the U.S. government, the SEC lost so many cases against Bitcoin companies.
Of course.
So now you can get it in your 401k.
Brokerage accounts.
I'm
yes.
gonna
Exactly.
put a little spice in here. I don't
Actually
know.
just got an email last week about that. I am in the
Yes,
financial. I am a.
OnlyFans can
You do
use
know
it.
I'm a
No,
financial
no.
advisor, right?
I was
am
gonna
re-
say.
I am registered, and I got an email from my
I was
broker.
gonna just say that as
Be
a
careful, you
financial-
cannot sell this just yet
Right.
with that announcement because they still have to do their proper due diligence to get it on the platform to put it in brokerage accounts.
It
But
depends.
of course, you go to Schwab Fidelity, boom, self-directed, you do whatever you want, it's available.
Well,
That's-
self-direct's been well. And that's why some of the BS and the
course.
crap that has chained financial advisors who can't give good financial advice because they're handcuffed
Yeah.
by politicians and old school thinkers.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin comes along and all these financial advisors who might love it, understand it,
Yeah.
can't tell their clients, which means they're not being good financial advisors. Irony, right?
It is. And of course, I'm a new school advisor, right? So I'm not like the old school, types that are out there. I leverage technology, right? We have a mobile app. So it's hard for a lot of advisors out there because they can't give their true opinion on it.
No,
They just have to stay 100 feet away. But
Yeah.
things are changing. It just goes a little slower.
Yeah.
Lawyers got to get involved, and they have to protect the bigger brands just in case.
that's why. Yeah, Bitcoin goes fast.
Mm.
And
Bitcoin
also with
goes no matter what.
FTX, obviously we're in South Florida. All these license plates now have to be changed. Everyone at FTX, black license plates. That was a major issue. So then the broker dealers stand up for themselves, say, "See, look what happened with FTX." So give us your opinion. On that.
Look what happened with FTX.
Yeah.
Did that happen to Bitcoin?
Nope.
Do people understand the difference? No.
Nope.
Right. So people,
Yeah.
here's the difference. FTX is a company. It's not Bitcoin. Coinbase is a company. Fidelity is a company.
Yep.
Wells Fargo is a bank. If Wells Fargo gets robbed, does that mean the US dollar is bad or been hacked or something?
I love that answer because just yesterday I told a client, they're like, my friend told me not to do this with this insurance policy. And I'm sitting there like, your friend, did she see your insurance policy? Like she has a different one. It might be the same brand, but she took it out at a different time frame. And it's the same philosophy where you're speaking about. It's like people jump to conclusions really quickly that FTX is, does all these other, like everything around Bitcoin, but it's like, no, they had one element with Bitcoin, but it's a brand that screwed around. The CEO
sold Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And there's so many misconceptions. Oh, it finances terrorism and drug dealers and tax evasion. But when they do the studies and they dig deep into it, they find a fraction of drug deals are done with Bitcoin, a fraction of terrorist financing. Sure. Do you know where most of the terrorist financing and drug dealing and sex trafficking happens? Which currency it is?
The United States dollar.
Oh, the US dollar. Are we going to close that down?
Yeah.
No, that would be more effective to stop all those things, though. The US dollar is more anonymous.
Let's dive deeper into you as an entrepreneur, right? Tell us your first brand, when you started it, how you got to this point.
So I came from the video, editing video, wedding videography, sports video. I did all the mixed martial arts, fighting videos. Yep. We used to drop cages.
This is why I picked you for this podcast, because we were chatting and I was like, wow, you've lived like 70 lives. You need to come on the podcast. You get what it means to be an entrepreneur.
I'm way older than I look. I feel very young. I'm way older. That's right.
That's right.
Exactly. I'm way younger than I look too.
Yeah.
Body
I got a young soul.
Yeah.
So anyway, coming from the video space, that was my first passion. I sketch comedy and this kind of crap. Did wedding videography for years, switched to mixed martial arts. We used to drop cages onto dance floors in Minneapolis nightclubs, including First Avenue, where Prince famously performed.
Wow.
And then we would strap deer stands to the cages, and I would have guys up there with cameras with cables on them. In the old days, we had tape in these cameras. So anyway, I was a video guy. So as I discovered Bitcoin a couple years later, I'm thinking, what can I do with Bitcoin that combine? What can I do? Video. So I came up with a way of launching videos on a pay-per-view, launching videos by scanning a Bitcoin QR code that's on a screen. You scan the QR code with your Bitcoin wallet. The QR code throws that Bitcoin to the artist. The platform, my platform, would take a sliver of that, and most of the money goes to the artist.
And that was live streaming.
No. This was recorded video.
Recorded. Okay, you'd upload.
So your band's video, your comedy sketch.
So rather than putting it on YouTube, where monetization can be different, I mean, you have to have a certain number of views to even get any money on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Someone like myself, who is an artist, would say, hey, I don't know anything about Bitcoin, but why not try to get into it, right? I mean, I think a lot of artists, including myself, are also like curious about like, oh, the NFT space now as well.
Yeah.
So like,
this is 2014 when we started. It's called Watch My Bit. You can look for the demos are online still.
Okay.
The website is up, watchmybit.com, but there's no.
So you were like ahead of your time.
So far ahead.
Yeah.
We went to VidCon, which is the largest YouTube conference, 2015, I think it was 2016. And we had a booth there, and people are going, wait, what's Bitcoin?
Yeah.
No, videos are supposed to be free. Oh, no, you can charge 29 cents.
Yeah,
You know, can you imagine credit cards? You can't charge 29 cents.
Yeah.
That's impossible. So one of the advantages of Bitcoin is micropayments. Mm-hmm. So you can charge $1.50. There's no credit card payments. That money goes to the artist. It doesn't go to a credit card processor.
Right. Yeah.
Then to PayPal. Then to YouTube.
And then what about taxes? Sorry to cut you off like that. Yeah. Like, how does that work?
Look at this financial guru over here.
No, just like with Bitcoin, like obviously, like if I'm an artist and say, I get money in a tip jar at a live show, like maybe I'm not reporting those.
You're not, because it's a gift, literally.
But so with Bitcoin, like, do I have to report? Like, how does that work with taxes? Like,
same way it works if you're repairing, snowmobile engines or lawnmowers or a car. If you make over $600, you got to report it. It's all self-reported.
Yeah. Okay.
Very similar how Venmo used to work, right? Yeah. People used to get Venmo all the time, and now Venmo changed it up now.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can use emojis still, and they won't know. They won't.
And one of my friends might be using the Owl platform because he's a specialist in taxes and cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
It's a lot of ins and outs and things like that.
And in that, you're not chained by the government or banks or whoever. You can just give advice, or like Jason is a little chained.
Well, yeah, because you're not an official financial planner.
Right.
You're a coach helping people make their way through a sometimes confusing new technology that's going to free the world.
Cool.
Remove politicians and their manipulating ways.
And then, like, when you were talking about Bitcoin and like you're not in it for the money and stuff like that, like, what other than like the money aspect and like I guess the political aspect, like what are the other benefits?
Of Bitcoin?
Yeah, I guess, or just like the reasons, sort of.
Yeah. So this gets into monetary theory and philosophy. Are you motivated by a kind of money that politicians can't manipulate? It's called hard money. Gold used to be hard money.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is a boring topic for most people.
Okay, never mind. You can ask him on Owl.
Yeah, but that's
call him on Owl for this part of the show.
Right. Exactly.
Next. Boop.
So if you want to avoid war, you don't want to fund wars, you don't want to fund oil, you don't want to subsidize big corporations.
Right.
These are all reasons I had for liking Bitcoin.
Got it.
I got rich along the way.
Mm-hmm. Woo! Awesome.
What was the aha moment when you say you got rich along the way? Like, when did you go from a solo entrepreneur to all of a sudden, crap, I need to...
Yeah, when did you know? Like,
did you raise capital? Did it come in naturally, self-funded?
I got such a good story.
Did you get to 100 employees? Like, tell us, like, no one out there really, in our audience may know this whole story, and we want them to really see what it was like.
So I started buying Bitcoin in 2011, less than $5 per coin. And, at the time I was working for a AV integrator, audiovisual. I was pulling cables through ceilings for microphones, like this kind of cables, and cameras and the control systems, and and those nice boardrooms. So that I was up there, and my friend Mark, who's a financial planner, until I hired him full time, so he could now actually stop worrying so much.
Sure.
So I'm sitting there on a ladder pulling cables through the ceiling, and it's like, Doug, we got to make this decision about Watch My Bit, my first business platform. Are we going to do this? We going to do that? He goes, get off the ladder. Do you know how much you're worth right now? Like, no. Goes, let me just do it. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, so you're saying I should quit my job. Yeah. I love my job, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was.
But you said you left or you loved?
Loved it.
Oh, okay.
I loved that job.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Traveled a bunch. I didn't make a lot of money, and I didn't care. I'm not money motivated. It's ironic that I'm so freaking
have it. That
she's been to my yacht.
Yeah.
What was it worth at the time when you say like you didn't know?
Telling you that
there's often situations that happen when the person doesn't know the stock price, and happens with stocks like Apple. It happens with the one on this table, Celsius,
Mm-hmm.
right? That stock exploded, went from $2-3
Mm-hmm.
to over 100 in a matter of 2-3 years. And all of a sudden someone's like, oh, I only have, 100 shares. And at $3, that's not that much money.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, when there's exponential growth, all of a sudden someone's like, wait a second, this is now worth $500,000, a million, 5 million, 10 million. Right. So like,
So,
so I just like,
I
it
know.
sounds like you were a little naive at the time. So I'm just wondering if you're okay with saying it. You don't have
You don't
to
have to say it.
at that time, because times have changed.
I wasn't naive about it. I didn't care.
Yeah.
So I bought Bitcoin at $3.50, and I bought a shit ton of it up until $50. Then I bought a whole bunch more up to $100. So I owned a good chunk of Bitcoin. And all of my team was saying, Doug, stop talking about this stuff in public. All right. So by the way, I live in Iowa. I'm just visiting here. My name is Bob, and I'm not who I think.
Yeah. Just
So
kidding.
yeah. Anyway, so Bitcoin went from $3.50 to $20,000, and I owned a bunch of it.
Yeah.
Now I've parted with a bunch of it because I paid employees. I bought.
So let's get into that side of the story. When did the brand start, and when was the scaling moment of the brand?
Well, the brand. My brand is nothing more than Doug Co. That's my office name. You can think of it as a family office. So now I'm an investor, entrepreneur. So I started several startups.
Okay.
Another one was a private jet hailing app. Another one was I'm going to call it a financial kiosk, mechanical, like physical kiosk.
Now, were those successful or those were failures?
They're all failures.
And then, so how many failures before the successful one?
Well, there are no successful ones, except
for
Bitcoin itself. So because I'm an early adopter, I have a family office. You could say that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I had no idea that I suddenly have a family office. I had to hire people to help strategize and tax purposes, all this kind of thing. So my brand is Doug Co.
Gotcha. It's all making sense now.
Right, exactly. And I have started several companies. Some of them are around still in a one form or another. And but I have
to say several, like how many? 10, 20, 40?
3 main startups
that you yourself,
that I myself
are founded.
I'm a very hands-on startup part of it. Yeah, exactly. And then I've invested in many other side companies, and I've helped, some visionary things that I am motivated by. Do you pick specific ones to invest in, or you kind of stick to a certain, like some, investors will say healthcare only, right? Some will say fitness only. Some will say not touching mobile apps. 99% of them fail. A lot of them will never touch a beverage company, right? So, and some people won't start with, a co-founder that's never done it before because the failure rate's so high. So they'll always say second time, third time founders, right? Because those early founders, everyone roots for the underdog, but we know the truth. Most of them fail, right? Yeah,
or second company.
Talk about learning experiences, And like I said, a good entrepreneur is one who has failed several times. So, good entrepreneur here, right?
Yes.
But my success is that I had enough wealth because of my wisdom, my owl-like wisdom, to see Bitcoin, spot trends
early,
and early, so early, like no one knew this was going to happen. I mean, I sold smoothies for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Which
but did you sell any of your Bitcoin, or you've held it this entire time?
Well,
that's a whole other story.
Yes, I ended up selling some. I've ended up making bad loans to friends.
Sure.
I've also paid for conferences. We sponsored one of my companies, Fly Air, sponsored Sundance twice. We flew in Macy Gray.
Oh, nice.
She brought her friend Avril Lavigne.
Nice.
We flew the Wu-Tang Clan to Anarchapulco. If you watch the show The Anarchists on HBO, when you see the Wu-Tang Clan, I flew them there in my private jet hailing app. Not a private jet. We don't own private
app,
jets.
you said?
It's an app. It's a private jet hailing app.
So like Uber for private jets?
Yes, exactly. And that's
cool.
Nothing new anymore, but we were pioneering that. We had a crypto token, which was a frequent flyer mile. It was a lot of cool stuff. You know?
And what about the other brand that you spoke about earlier in the show? That someone like
the video one.
Ellie can post a video and then start charging. 20 cents, 30 cents.
Yeah, is that still around?
We closed it down. Okay. The website's up. All the training videos are up, and the all of our.
So of the 3, are any still around?
No. So Watch My Bit is in hibernation.
Okay.
And it's been replaced now. We are such early pioneers. NFTs have come along, new
Yeah.
coins have come along, but no one has done video streaming being launched by crypto successfully.
Mhm.
There's been other imitators. Library was
But
one
not
of them.
successful ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. One of the reasons is that nobody expects to pay for video.
I know. Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Not even 29
Same with
cents.
music, just
Mhm.
songs. Like, you don't realize that the artists like put in so much of their own money, and it's like, can't you just give them a little bit back? But
Exactly.
unless you're an artist yourself, it's hard to understand the reality of those things.
What is your feeling about the whole entitlement, world when it comes to everything's free, 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 free? Why would I pay? Because obviously we have a mobile app where you have to pay to speak to somebody, and we get that a lot too. They're like, "Why would I pay to speak to someone?" I'm like, I don't know. You get to the front of the line, you could speak to
You
someone.
pay to go to networking
That
events.
is
Pay to
on
your
Cameo that
lawyer.
charges
Yeah,
hundreds of dollars to a video, and now you can chat with them. They list themselves at $5 to $20, and like you have a one-on-one conversation, and cut out all the BS with messaging people and just trying to get a meeting with them. Right?
Yeah.
We give you access to experts that are sometimes untouchable. Right? Because we're not sharing anyone's phone number on the app. It's only an app call, and the person on the other end, like yourself, you be the judge. You want to go make yourself available, take some calls at $1, $100. That's up to you.
Right.
Right. And you just want to be friendly, do $1 and be like, I just feel like sharing some wisdom.
Yeah, Watch My Bit was a similar concept, except we had video streaming, recorded video. Not streaming, but recorded.
Yeah.
Right. Except, but your system is a live person who is there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they're philosophically motivated and just want to help people, like you said.
Yeah.
And we do have Mentorship Mondays. We have a lot of successful CEOs who just it's their time to give back. Like, people like to give back, so they lower their price. So, we've had the CEO, John Fieldy, CEO of Celsius, other big CEOs get on Owl on Mondays, they're usually $100. They lower their price to $1. And it's Mentorship Mondays, and people call them and they're giving back their wisdom. And we even have, things with college students where we're looking for internships. Let's go on Mondays, that kind of thing, where they really can mentor and network. And so it's a whole thing.
Let's do it right now. This is the part of the show.
This is the call. And
we are gonna share our screen. So
I have someone in mind who I want to call.
And I'm going to take a selfie while we're doing this.
So watch this. Now we're gonna put the screen up on the TV, and you could see it from here, but the audience sees all these live experts. Okay. So what we're looking at is all these experts are available to speak to, and then we have different categories like podcasting, right? Advertising, publishing. You could search any expertise, right? Because we have a whole menu, or you could just do a Google search. You want to search for someone at the top, right there.
Put in Bitcoin. See what
ready, but someone just posted. So we have this chat forum where people literally can.
Yeah, I want to call Jennifer.
Right here, Jennifer, and she said, I have a friend wanting more information on crypto mining and cryptocurrency. Who do you recommend? And then here you go. Perfect timing. We have a guest. Now, you weren't in the app yet.
Yeah.
She can't tag you. But once you're in the app, right after this episode, he will be available. He will be an expert. So just hang tight, everybody who are watching. But what we're going to do, is Jennifer live right now, by the way?
Yeah, she is. I just saw.
Oh.
It's live. You should call her.
We are going to call Jennifer. So let's see if she's on this home screen. Pull it down one time to refresh so I don't have to search for her. There she is. Oh, she's only $55. Well, she's getting a gift.
Yeah.
Because usually I wouldn't call her at $55, Jennifer. But if you're watching,
what does that mean?
She's charging $55 for
her service.
Yeah.
What does she do?
Well, we're going to ask her.
Find out.
Okay.
Because you're going to ask her questions.
One of the things she does,
calling her and she doesn't know,
which
but
is amazing because I've talked to her, is she helps people find ways to make money at home. So say I'm I need a side hustle. She has a list of 50.
Jennifer,
the apology.
Are you patched in?
I think I am.
She was. It worked.
She
She was there the whole time. This is the
Available on
perfect
Amazon.
timing because we did not stage this. Can you share with our audience and our guests what you posted in the chat forum today? And we want Douglas to answer it.
Yes. So I actually have a friend. So it's not even a question for myself, but a friend of mine is looking about how to do crypto mining. So he asked me, he said, do you know anybody that I could talk to about crypto mining? So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to post that on Owl. I'm sure somebody can help you with that. And then I was going to get him to call that person on Owl. So
about 1 hour today. You can.
For a friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know anything about crypto mining. So he says, Jennifer, I need help with crypto mining. And I said, well, I'm not the right person for this question. interested. So I said, let me find you somebody, because I'm a person that usually I'll find, if I don't know anything about it, I will help. Because I do have 18 streams of income, but none of them are crypto mining. So yes, if you have any crypto mining advice to give, I would love to pass that along to my friend.
I'm going to address two of your issues. One is earning passive income with crypto, which is something else you can put under your hat.
Number 19.
Yes.
But here's the best advice on Bitcoin mining and most crypto mining. Ready? Any money that you're going to put into mining, just buy Bitcoin. Don't
really
do it. Okay. No, it's complex. The competition is so big, you need giant data centers. There are smaller cryptos that you could mine. It takes a lot of research to find coins that are worth it. And then the best advice is you mine these Peercoin, Akash. You mine, not Akash, but you might mine, there's a Caspa is one that's coming up. But you would just sell them instantly and buy Bitcoin with it. And that's what you should do. You shouldn't sell them for cash. You should buy Bitcoin and sit on the Bitcoin for 3 to 5 years, because there's a lot of things happening within the next 3 to 5 years. And actually, the next 6 months, we all expect the Bitcoin price to explode. And then in 3 to 5 years, it's going to triple or double or quadruple or even 10x.
Really? Yes, okay, so here's another question. Right. So I know that you're going to say, well, I can't give advice on that, because in case it, it goes down or something, you're not responsible. But if you were to choose 3 cryptocurrencies that you would say are maybe something interesting to look into right now, which 3 would you suggest to somebody who's a newbie? I do have a little bit of cryptocurrency, but not a lot, just a couple of $100. But if I were to buy a few more $100 worth, what should I be looking at right now?
Bitcoin. So here's the rule of thumb. 80% Bitcoin. When you get to 80% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, and then you can gamble, which is exactly what all other shitcoins are, is gambling. Okay. I do have projects that I like that are profitable, but I have a team of people who research them and all that stuff. And I can tell you, I'm a big fan of the Cosmos ecosystem, which is the coin is called Atom, but their reward coin is called Osmosis. There are some coins where you can yield farm, which is a whole nother complex thing. But so Atom is one of them. Or the Cosmos ecosystem. Ethereum's a good bet for future stuff, but 80% should be Bitcoin that you sit on in a wallet you control. All right, that's the deal. That's the deal.
Okay, because I was kind of worried about Bitcoin, because I said, okay, well, it's already really high. It's not. Is there a possibility of it going higher still?
Let me tell you. You want to know why?
Why?
Okay, so the Bitcoin software, which is all it is, it's open source software. It's not controlled by Satoshi Nakamoto. It's not controlled by a company. The Bitcoin Foundation doesn't control it. It's controlled by the people. It's the most egalitarian thing. It's the miners, the node operators, and it's the consumers who control Bitcoin. So in the software, every 4 years, something amazing happens. Let me paint a picture this way. Who decides to raise interest rates in the US?
I don't know. I'm in Canada.
It's
got you on that one.
It's politicians. It's
politicians.
We have 1 minute left.
Right. Okay. It's the government basically.
Not the extending.
And when do they do this? When do they do this raising and lowering of interest rates and inflation and all this stuff? Whenever the hell they want.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Do we know when it's going to be? Sometimes, but not really. Bitcoin has stability, which no one says, in that every 4 years the number of Bitcoin that the miners can discover gets cut in half. That happens this April. The amount of Bitcoin available,
you convinced me.
The new Bitcoin coming out gets cut in half, as it has for every 4 years since its inception.
Yeah.
That cannot be changed. That's going to cause scarcity, which is why things become more valuable.
Well, that is awesome. And I get my friend to call you, because I think that this would be so good to have him to call you directly. Because I'm not sure that I could re-explain all of this, but definitely
have him listen to the show.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
Just go back to the recording. And then, of course, call him. He's going to be the featured expert of the week next week.
Bye. So usually you
That was
can
your
extend a
first
call, but
hour
she's
call.
$55, so we're not extending it.
We're calling
Wait a
her.
minute.
So.
Doesn't she pay you that much?
We
You gave
we-
her the advice.
Yeah, we
Yes.
called her and gave her the advice. But typically,
Oh.
when you
because this
because
isn't
it's
a
where it's
call-in.
a
It's
show,
not a
'cause-
call-in show. So if we wanted to make it a call-in show, you would have to be an expert.
So we called her through the Owl platform.
Yeah, we call all these experts are live, and the way it works is when you're an expert, see how I'm not live. Like I'll go to my profile, see how I'm under podcasting right here. I'm not live, right? No, you can't call me. I'm $99 10 minutes, and then all I'm doing is hitting this timer button and saying you can call me for the next 4 hours, and I could price myself any way I want. So now I'm $99, right? And someone could click my profile for a 10-minute call. We're selling blocks of time, 10 minutes.
Wow,
and then once you're on the call, you could extend it. So how cool is this? We're going to pick one more. Okay.
$2.
So here are all, give me a topic. Give me
room to grow.
Here, I'm going to let you pick.
All right.
See all these people in here? So like a nonprofit expert, entertainment. Obviously, I could click in event planning. She's awesome at event planning. She gave me some great tips.
Yeah,
Happiness, especially.
awesome.
She is like, you just want to, you're in a bad mood. You speak to her. She'll brighten your day. Haven't spoken to him. He's new on the platform. So you can see the stars, like 9 calls, 50 calls. He's brand new, advertising. He's in the music business.
Yeah, I actually talked to him yesterday. He's going to help me.
Colleen, awesome. She runs a really cool podcast I was on this week.
So that's pretty cool. I bet I have a friend who, and he does specifically crypto-based taxes. He does my taxes. He works for me full time. He might want to do a side hustle where he can do this sort of thing while he's, doing something else, walking the dogs.
Yes. Well, that's the beauty of it. Like I'm in the car all the time. I'm driving all over the place, music, gigs, blah, blah, blah. And like, rather than just like listening to music, after a while, you kind of are just like, okay, like I need a little more stimulation.
Steely Dan only goes so far.
Rather than like going to a 3-hour networking event and paying money and being like, wow, I spent all this time networking and like no connections come out of it. Like it's so many times you go to those events and you get people's cards and you never follow up them. And here it's like, I can search exactly what I'm looking for. Like I don't have to bullshit. I don't have to be stuck in a boring conversation with someone I don't want to listen to. It's 10 minutes. So, if they're not helpful, then you can be like, okay, bye.
Is it actually limited to 10 minutes?
You can add time. So if you like the conversation, then
so it's
can
controlled on both parties. So the person that is the expert taking the call, if they have another meeting, they could reject it and really control their boundaries.
Okay. And it's two W's, 2 L's. If they just search on YouTube for that, if my friends want to go.
Oh, yeah. We're in the App Store and Google Play Store.
But they can watch on YouTube right now live.
Yes, yeah. We're Owl App. We're live on Instagram. We're live on my LinkedIn account, Jason R. Hill.
Excellent.
And then on Facebook as well.
So the point is, like, I got many crypto friends, and there's probably not that many Bitcoin people on there. So I bet you a lot of them will be jumping on board here with this opportunity.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell them about it.
Yeah.
And then you can start getting like super specific. Like, no, I'm just talking about Ethereum. No, I'm just talking about Cosmos. No, I'm just going to specialize in degeneracy. We call it degens.
What about Rachel or
farming,
Rochelle?
that kind
You
of
said
stuff.
she's good at event planning.
No, the other one I was interested in. Let's see.
Who do you want to talk? There's all these.
Poker. I wouldn't mind talking to a poker expert.
Let's see.
I don't think the other guy actually wasn't a poker. He's just by a table. He created this golf game on a table. I'm the poker player.
I know, right? Did you do?
So I in college, it was during the Chris Moneymaker boom when everyone started playing at a little table like this for $5. And then I got really good. I started playing online back in the net teller days. And I couldn't believe that money was coming out of an ATM when I was in school, making a few $1,000.
Nice.
And then after college, I got entry into a World Series poker event after winning like $100. I turned into a $5,000 seat.
Nice.
Flew me out to Tahoe. They called it the Fearsome Four. I was one of 4 people that got flown out. I got all this gear. And then right after that, if you remember, like 3 months later, like there was the crash, right? All the companies moved out of the publicly traded party poker.
Politicians.
Yeah, the Patriot Act. So I have over $10,000 glued into the website that I was in. And then eventually it freed up to Bodog and some other, that's when Poker Stars and Poker Stars and Full Tilt got really popular because all the the other companies that were publicly traded had to get the hell out of here. They could not do it any longer. And then it got a lot tighter online, as you remember. So I would play. And then that's when I, went into the financial service industry in 2007. So I had to slow down, right? I had to, take my career a lot more serious. And I did it always on the side. I would go down to Atlantic City, good old Borgata, play a lot of poker. And I still to this day, down in Coconut Creek, I ended up cashing in fourth place around 83,000. My first big event I played
Here in Florida?
in Florida, I ended up cashing in $83,000, which then parlayed it to buying this office actually. So it's kind of like, one ripple impact led to the next thing.
Okay,
And
you
then-
are not invited to my private poker game,
There was only 1,100 people. There
right?
was only 1,100 people to get
That's
down
it?
there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you
it's
can't
it's really hard to get down to like the final table. Any big poker, but I play locally now. I play at Coconut Creek like 2-5.
I go
I don't
to
play anything
well,
crazy. It's
I go
2-5, no limit.
1-2 down at
What does that mean?
the casino.
1,
What is the
2?
Hard Rock.
You could buy in usually from $100 to $300, and
Oh.
the blinds start at
blinds.
1-2.
Yeah, like $1, $2.
But Eve
Oh,
has
okay.
a cash game.
Yeah.
They play. There's a lot of cash games.
You
People's
buy in.
homes.
Oh wait, no,
You
no.
buy-
I do not have a cash
Do
game.
not have a
We
game.
use poker chips
Go
to symbolize.
They're tokens.
Right.
They're tokens. How often do you play?
Once a month about, and just we've done it on my boat actually.
So I guess I do have a good question for you, because a lot of people will see you as like, okay, he was jumping into Bitcoin early, and a lot of times people then, it's a lottery curse, right? All of a sudden you do the wrong things with your money,
Mhm.
and you don't work, and then you have less passion if you're not working, you're not going, to meet people like us in this office on a daily basis, and sometimes it goes south, because you don't have to work another day in your life, right? You could put the money in somewhere safe and just take interest off of these accounts, right? So tell us how you don't be in that zone of the curse of the lottery.
I mean, I'm just gonna like hookers and blow, It's like,
Correct.
well, I should
Yeah,
have
yeah.
thought
How
Talk
do
about
you-
a yacht. You're in Miami,
Exactly. I got the
right? So the
yacht
impression.
now.
How do you stay ground? Like, how do you? Yeah,
yes, that's where we're
stay.
going with this. How do you
So-
stay?
Well, you never stop being interested in changing the world, and that's like I said, being
Well, you don't. I think it depends on the personality.
yeah. I mean, being philosophically motivated.
Yeah.
You look at the
Yeah.
world and go, "This should not be this way." How can we replace that crappy system that suppresses and oppresses people? Hey, I think crypto and Bitcoin could help this out, and that's my legacy will be
Mhm.
replacing inefficient systems, government, with
Yeah.
fair, understandable, set in stone computers, smart contracts, perhaps that help people with carrots and sticks, not just like carrots. So that's why I started a family office, really, and to help people.
Perfectly understand now. So
Yeah.
you still time management.
I got a
important.
vision.
You still want to impact this world, because a lot of times people say, if I ever win the lottery, I'm done, I'm quitting my job. And you said earlier, like, no, I didn't really want to quit my job. I love my job.
I did.
Yeah.
I was
Right?
on
And
ladder.
you have passion projects. You want to have impact, which is absolutely awesome. And you see a lot of entrepreneurs with that mindset.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people go to me and say, Jason, when Owl blows up, what are you going to do? Are you going to sell it? And I was like, no, I want to run it.
Yeah.
Right. I love this. I love, talking to our 50 plus brand ambassadors. I love, waking up every day and getting in my car and like, chatting with someone on Owl, going home, 30-minute commute. I chat with someone on Owl. I come to his office with Danielle, Stephanie on our team, and we have a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
If I just had all the money in the world and then sat at home, like that would be boring. Right. So I just look like there's more to this world than just money. Right. And I think a lot of people learn that once they receive it, and then all of a sudden like goes back to like, you see so many people saying the same thing. It's just about human interaction. That's what Owl is.
Mhm.
Able to continue human interaction 24/7.
Mhm.
And we hope to make impact in this world, because when you look at the next generation, they're not using the phone to call people, right? And they text everyone. They're on social media, and it's very fake, of course, we know. And lots of times you just want to chat with someone and get the realness out of conversations.
You got dog trainers on there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually
Ah.
You're the second person today that asked us that.
we have this in the.
So
So we're
funny.
gonna go to the chat forum real quick, because someone just brought that up earlier today.
Well, Elisa, we were on a Zoom with her earlier, and she was
Yes.
like, "I just got this new dog, and like, I don't know what to do."
I'm a really good dog trainer.
Look right
One
here.
of my many skills.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking to
Wow.
connect with someone about animal welfare.
Can't make this
I
up.
found a puppy and I don't want it to go into a shelter, but I
Oh,
can't
Dylan
help it. I
Blau.
need help. So look, I click Dylan, and then there he is. He's $21 for 10 minutes. You could request him to go live. He's taken 34 calls, and everyone's had a positive experience. It's right there.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. That's really cool.
This guy's a genius. It says, "Wow."
Love it.
Okay.
Like dog tricks, when teach you
Yeah.
dog tricks.
Yes. Okay. I think it's time for the bet.
Oh yeah.
The what?
Oh, look, she's been waiting all week.
I
for
didn't
this.
tell you about the bet.
We don't tell everyone everything
We
about
don't
the
tell
show. We
anybody.
keep something surprises.
All right. We're gonna bet. We're gonna make it in Bitcoin though. Okay.
Well, basically, you have to think of the bet. I'm tired. It's a long one.
So it's going to be about owl, right? So
Every week we come up with a bet for our
something
guests.
around
Okay.
owl. So
Bet.
what we're going to say is that we're going to make it based on the amount of time you make yourself available. You're a very busy guy. I'm assuming, you're
Mornings
involved.
are open though.
Mornings are open.
We're on the East Coast here.
Okay. So from today to next Wednesday, you have to make yourself available to take calls. Should we say a minimum of 30 minutes per day for 7 days straight? Right. So it builds a habit
Mm-hmm.
to take calls on Owl. Right. So very simple. You make yourself available.
You go
Obviously,
live.
you have to take the calls. You can't just go available and.
Oh, there's evidence of this. Too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on the
There's
platform.
no way I can cheat.
Yeah, of course. So next 7 days for 30 minutes a day, you create this habit where you go live for a minimum of 30 minutes. You go live as much as you want,
Mm-hmm.
but you put it
Minimum
into your
30
schedule.
minutes, right?
And pretty much, at the end, if you win, we have to provide you something. You tell us what you want.
Meaning, if I agree to do the 30 minutes per day,
Yes.
there's the evidence.
Yeah, the bigger the
Whether or
bet,
not I
the
get
bigger
the calls, but
you will get calls. You
You'll
will
get
get
the
calls
calls,
because
yeah.
we promote you. And anyone who's new goes under this category, new.
Okay.
And the way it works is it's not by random. We have people follow you, and then they get a notification when you make yourself available. So what happens is these notifications come in when you're available, but because we're promoting you, they're going to follow.
They're going to be up there.
They're going to be up there. So we know that anyone in your shoes is going to instantly get phone calls, especially when you're new. Usually most people get, a call within 3 minutes when they're new, and you get up to like 10 calls because we have, power users on this app. Look, 1.4 thousand calls, 624, 240. Wow. They're going to get calls.
Wow.
Right.
Your power network.
This is a new topic that isn't really that much on your platform.
Yeah,
just
no.
yet.
Okay. So now we need the bet. Are you willing to do that? And then you're able to wager the bet on
Let me
what
check
you
my
want if
schedule.
you
Hold
hit
on
that.
just a second.
Yeah.
We busy entrepreneurs changing the world and everything.
Yeah.
We got to make sure
It
we
could be 30 minutes any day, any time in the day. It
Sure.
could
It
be
doesn't
when
have
you
to be morning.
think about it. You could do this while you're driving.
while I'm
You're like-
selling the boat and
Like
stuff.
for example,
Yeah.
today you could get in your car. You're going to be an hour away from home in Miami, so
Mhm.
you could take calls in the 30-minute Uber. If
Mhm.
you Ubered, I'm not sure if you drove or you Ubered here.
I drove here.
You drove, but
in
you
Miami traffic.
You could do it while driving home. I do it all the
I
time.
know.
Remember I said earlier, I do it while commuting.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a good place to do it.
Or, we could even say, like,
I commit.
He's committed.
I'm
He's
going to
committed.
do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay,
Today-
30 minutes every day. It starts tomorrow because today you're on the show.
All right,
Yeah.
good.
So
Well,
it's-
tomorrow's a busy day.
or we could just say, like, he has to go live in the next week for 3.5 hours.
I disagree.
his
I'll
better.
explain
I like
why.
that. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
people who don't form
'Cause it's
habits,
consistent. Okay.
it creates. It's no different than the gym. If you don't go every day, you're going to
Okay,
quit.
okay.
You're going to have excuses. But if you do this every day for 7 days, it's also going to create an amazing story. I think what's going to happen out of this, you're going to be like, oh my God, look at the lives I've impacted over the 7 days. And I think it's going to turn into, something that you did not see coming. No different than when people start eating healthy for 7 days, right? And all of a sudden they see the benefits.
Like when we did the
on day
75
8.
hard. Yeah.
Or drinking extra gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can do it at 2 a.m. and
Yeah,
It's a 24/7 hour platform. You just have to go live. No one calls you. They don't call you.
You have international callers too, I suppose.
In app, it's only
a
U.S. and
couple,
Canada
but-
today.
Okay.
Money regulations.
Okay.
We're passing money.
That's good.
Different conversation one day.
Hey,
for
when are you
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. When are we going to add
Yeah.
Bitcoin to the app?
Right?
You might give us some knowledge on that subject after your
Drop
7
some
days.
knowledge bombs on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Okay.
ways.
So now that we agree that
So-
you're going to do it, what do you want if you win? What are you wagering? So you win, you want something from us. Some people have asked for this studio. That would be an item. Some people ask for Celsius gear because they love the Celsius brand.
Some people have asked for a free ticket to Podfest, which
Oh
We're
yeah, we
gonna
have a
be at-
very big.
like the biggest podcasting
Mhm.
festival, and there's going to be a lot of influencers from people
Where's
there.
this happening?
Orlando next weekend.
Oh.
So tickets are, not they're.
Well,
Everyone tells me I should start a podcast. So this studio,
So the thing about
Ooh, you could ha-
Podfest.
I'll have to think about it.
Podfest is
you
an
will let you use
educational
our
thing, too.
studio.
Yeah, we could let you use the studio. Yeah, there's a Podfest. If you get a ticket, there's a way. It's like an educational.
You came up
festival
for the day.
about-
Danielle will be there, and we have 4 big influencers on stage, and then they're running an interactive podcast booth with us.
And there are like
Yeah.
different classes on like how
That's-
to run a successful podcast and stuff.
Here.
If you
So
want to start
you
one.
have to see a visual. So what happens is when we do the podcast booth, it's like this. This is
Think of this
in-person.
where this is where I
So that's at an event, but there's going to be 1,500 attendees. There's Podfest Expo there. And, there's the announcement. That's what our booth looks
Big
like right
news
there.
to start out 2020.
Anyway, so
That'll
you
take
have to
some
think about
traveling,
what
so that's
you'd
a little
want
hard.
from us.
Yeah.
Um,
I had to think about that.
Or the
Yeah.
studio. Keep it simple. You
Yeah.
get to take our studio over and bring a guest in, and it's yours for 2 hours.
Yeah, because people say you should start a podcast, Doug. You've got all this knowledge and all this kind of stuff. But there's so many Bitcoin podcasts already.
Yeah.
So many news. And I, as a video guy, I like post-production editing. I like titles. I like vignettes. I like, now we're going to Ellie in the street.
Or maybe we give you X amount of money to spend in the Owl app, and you can call all the video people and pitch your rom-com. Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. There are options. Think about it.
Maybe a case of Celsius. Right?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
We will have plenty of that. So that will be easy as of next week. We're on.
When you think about it, though, it's a good challenge, it's a good bet. But here's the thing: if I successfully meet the challenge, and let's say I only do 5 days, and all of a sudden I've got money on the side, then I can tell my friends who are maybe broke or need more money and they need side gigs. So in a way, just being part of it, you've helped me already. So I don't need anything from you.
Okay, but you want to make it.
Wait, I want a live performance.
I know
on my yacht.
Yeah,
There we go.
okay.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Sure.
Yeah, I need her to come sing on my yacht during some.
And you can play. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's
probably
the
could
bet.
have got this for
You
free
get her for
already.
free on. You have to
Let's
sing
do it.
on his yacht.
Yeah,
Well, it might be for.
She charges a lot for those singing.
No, I
engagements.
actually do. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Is
Well,
that the?
Maybe we'll do it at one of the poker parties or something.
Yeah.
I've got
Okay. Done.
people there.
I'm betting myself.
Yeah, well, no, it's
sold.
You
Just
charge
kidding.
a lot for that.
No,
so
I do.
He doesn't
They're
have to-
private events, like upwards of 500.
No, I got it. I want voice lessons.
Oh yeah, totally.
Voice.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Because I have.
How about
Hey,
you
but I
get
wanted
2 voice lessons, 1 hour each?
Okay. There's that.
Typically, I charge 100 an hour.
This is Ellie Santra.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been singing for over 20 years. I had a scholarship for singing to my no bullshit here.
Yeah.
So I know my shit.
And you're going to make money when people call you. Think about it from that side.
And really, having Elfie Santa Christmas carols. That's really what I'm looking for.
Okay, so that's the bet. You guys got to shake.
So wait.
He's
But
got
then,
a new
wait,
package.
not yet.
He's you.
What do we get if he loses?
Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
Oh geez. So
What do we want?
Yeah. So okay, I have a 28 floor condo. You can do it off of there in front of my Bitcoin gong. You can do the show there. Or the boat is the best thing. If I still have the boat, you can use that.
Should we just say boat, and then if you don't have it, we'll figure something else out?
Yeah,
we'll do that.
We'll figure it out later. Okay.
You have a mobile studio?
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
We got that one in the photo. Yeah.
Okay.
There it is. The deal. Everyone witnessed the deal. Get on the app now and give him a ring. Before we end the show, I did skip one subject that, of course, touches my heart, and Danielle, of course, mentioned it to me. I had testicular cancer. I'm very open about it. I publicly posted about it. And that obviously,
I had cancer.
And that impacted my life, which is why I want to end the show with this topic, because it changed my life, the way I view money, right? When I look at money, I did very well in the financial service sector in New York City. I moved down to Florida with my family. And, of course, when you get a knock on the door, when you least expect it, and they say the words, "You have cancer," you're like, wow, like everything flashes in front of your eyes. It doesn't matter, how many zeros are at the end of your bank account, right? You can't just, blast money and get cancer to go away, right? It doesn't work like that. It happened to Steve Jobs as well, and he had some famous quotes. So tell us how, and she did not share with me the type of cancer, but what type? Just tell us how that did make an impact and an impact, how you want to change your life to be better, and kind of.
Yeah, it's funny. So I had I didn't have pheochromocytoma. I was misdiagnosed with a 100% fatal cancer.
Wow.
Pheochromocytoma. Misdiagnosed.
That's
right.
Crazy.
So how to change my life? It's a good question, because I wasn't money motivated to begin with. Maybe subconsciously I've just strived a little more since those times. And
what year was this?
This was 2017, 2018.
Oh, recent.
Yeah, and there's even a funny crypto story behind it. Like, back in those days, it was like, okay, the altcoins were new, Litecoin, all these other coins were there, and I wanted to, so I put a bunch of money into these little altcoins, and actually not a little bit, but a good chunk. I was switching Bitcoin to these other currencies and
Yeah.
went through my 3 months of cancer therapy, and then that was called altcoin summer. And altcoin skyrocketed in price. And I forgot that I had done this.
Oh, that's funny.
And then I go back and look and say, oh,
Oops.
I guess I'm rich again.
Oh my
And
God.
people, I don't want people to think crypto is about being rich. It's not. It is a happy
Yeah.
accident for me
Yeah.
Sure.
in all ways. And which is why I sometimes talk about this and people think I'm bragging, and I'm not.
Yeah, you're just like passionate.
I'm just
Sure.
amazed.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I used to live in Minnesota. I was pulling cables. Now I got a 4-bedroom yacht.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't even like the damn yacht. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh man, you're just a rich son of a. It's like, no, I want to help you get rich.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to help
Yeah.
you get rich. I want to help everyone get rich. Because, and you can do it with Bitcoin and crypto. There's
Yeah.
ways, you know, and it's not
Yeah.
too late, everybody. It's early.
Yeah, because like that's what I keep hearing. It's too late. That ship has sailed.
Early. It's early.
Yeah.
Number one, because of the technological programming of Bitcoin, the halving alone ensures that it gets the amount of Bitcoin produced by the miners cut in half every 4 years.
Mhm.
This is April. It's going to happen.
Got my birthday month.
And if you look at the chart of every 4 years, it does this.
Yeah.
And then it drops 80%. And people go, oh, you see, it's a scam. Just hold it. You know, if your property values dropped on your house, you're not going to sell your house.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's useful.
Well, that's like the stock market goes up and down and up and down, and
Yeah.
people still keep it in there.
People don't realize that Bitcoin isn't really a currency, and currencies have many descriptions. That's one of its uses. That's what we thought it was. Now it's a store of value.
Hmm.
It's like gold. You know, you put the gold bars under your mattress, something like that. So anyway, store of value. Later, it'll become a currency, just like gold at first was just a store of value. And then they realized, oh, I can make coins out of it. Oh, and I can pass these around better than these giant rocks that I had to carry around before. But try scraping off a fraction of a penny of a gold coin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bitcoin can do this because it's digital gold. That's kind of the concept. Digital gold.
And when we're on that topic,
Blah, blah,
you
blah.
know, that's just like Owl, digital gold, because you get to get reviews, relationships, and plant a lot of seeds to tell people what you do. And then they come back full circle when they've spoken with you and then say, oh, I know a person that does this or that.
Mhm.
So early
My brain
adopters
is
out there,
spinning with all these people I know
Yeah.
who could
early
security
adopters,
experts.
because you have to be open-minded, right? So often people are closed-minded and they don't try new technologies. And
Just like you said, with like, it's actually really relatable to what we talk about with Owl is like, if you think of Owl just for the money of like, I want to make this side hustle, you might not be successful. But if you think of it as like, how many connections am I going to make that are going to lead me to the right person? Or, you know, because we all know that a lot of business is we get the best connections through people we know, and we get the best leads through that. So if you think of it as like, okay, if you go into it having a lower price, right, you're going to get more calls and you're going to connect with more people.
Have you guys ever thought about, or have you gone to older people, old folks' homes who are professionals and retired and bored off their asses? And $1 per 10 minutes is a lot of money to them. Like my mom is a retired speech pathologist.
Yeah.
And she can impart so much wisdom to other speech pathologists.
Yeah.
Because the technology and the teaching methods have changed.
Yeah, and they love the old school telephone calls, so they love it. You know, we do cater to an older audience.
Yeah, okay.
The only thing is with our app, just going to the app store, hitting the download button. Someone really needs to go in and teach them how to download and hold it.
Use that, because we've had
When we're larger, we agree it will work because we see that audience already in the app, and they absolutely like blown away. Like, I'm missing this. I always wanted something. Everything's like Instagram and TikTok. I just want to speak to people.
But if nothing else,
they're lonely.
Yeah. But if nothing else, well, yeah, I guess you're right. They have to have the app and offer their services. They have to have some savviness there. So, you know, helping old people with apps is an expertise that you probably have on there somewhere.
Yeah.
My mom would use that.
Yeah.
She's 86.
Wow.
Let's get her on
She
it.
use other apps?
Accidentally. Getting her to take a picture with her phone is like pulling teeth.
She have Bitcoin?
She did for a while,
Yeah.
and then she said, buy this Bitcoin from me. I go, okay, but why? I just don't want it.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay, well,
that's an investor mentality, not the Bitcoin thing. She had Bitcoin on a paper wallet.
Wow.
Paper is another way you can store Bitcoin. People don't realize these things.
I didn't know. Well, anyway, you will learn a lot from this guy, Doug Scribner. You can call him probably in the next, well, we won't make him.
We'll do it today before I leave.
Yeah, we're going to
He'll
download
become
it
an
today.
expert. Yeah,
So you'll be able to call him. Make sure you call him in the next 7 days so he can win his bet.
Please. Oh, see, now I'm motivated. Damn you.
Help him win.
Ooh, you will be. Oh, by the way, let me motivate you even more. You will be the first person to win the bet if you complete this, because everyone goes on the show. They're like, "Oh, easy. I'm going to take those calls." Not one person
Not one.
has
We
won
started
yet.
it with like 7 episodes ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
One.
So now,
voice lessons.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that because
Yes.
you've heard me sing.
Yeah. You.
I have a decent enough voice that you
Yeah,
could
I could just
probably,
give you some tips.
Yeah.
Especially for your karaoke nights.
which I've done now 3 times.
Awesome.
We're going to switch
Yeah.
locations.
I will be taking side prop bets for anyone interested out there. If he will win or if he will lose. Right now, the money line is like plus.
You need like a whiteboard.
Yes. It's not looking good if all 7 have failed so far.
Yeah.
So we hope you're the one.
But if you really want those voice lessons,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us here on the Owl Podcast. Take care.
Bye.
Post-production for the Owl Podcast is done, with care, by Brian at Ocean Tree Creative. OTC offers full-service podcast post-production, as well as social media video production, and coaching and mentoring on both areas. Reach out to Brian via the link in the show notes.